Calo Nord is dead, Lord Malak. He has failed in his mission. Forgive me.
The penalty for failure is death, Admiral Kareth. But the failure was Calo's, not yours. You may rise.
Shall I hire another bounty hunter, Lord Malak?
No mere bounty hunter can stand against a Jedi. I shall not make the same mistake again. My apprentice, Darth Bandon, shall take care of our young Jedi friend. Find Bastila and bring her to me, alive, if possible.
As you command, Master.
Back! I knew you'd come through for me. I knew I could count on you. You do have a tech land for me, right?
Here's the tagline. Take it.
Come to Papa, you sweet simian organ. It may not look like much, but once I turn this into a bottle of Torresian ale, it'll end up being worth a fortune. Thanks, Mission. You won't regret helping me out with this.
Please, Griff, let this be the last time. No more cons, no more scams, no more schemes. That's all I ask.
Hey, sis, no need to worry about that. I've turned over a new leaf. From now on, I'm gonna stay out of trouble and do things right. And once we've cornered the market on Torresian ale, good things will be heading my way. Then I'll make it up to your Mission. Just wait, you'll see. You know, once we synthesize this and start brewing Torresian ale in mass quantities, we're gonna be looking for some investors. You give me a couple of 100 credits, and I can get you in on the ground floor. You'll get a return of, at least 20 times your investment.
You've already promised me a few thousand credits.
Hey, don't worry. You'll get your credits as soon as we start mass-producing that Torresian ale. I just wanted to know if you were interested in an even bigger payoff.
Okay, here's 200 credits.
Wise move. I can see you really understand how business works. Now, when you see your chance, you jump at it, huh? That's my motto. I better get started on brewing that ale. Meet me back here later, and I'll have a down payment on what I owe you.
Sure you will. I don't know when later is. Where are you going? That's not good enough, Zuvam. We know you have more, and we want it now. What? You can't just rewrite our agreement whenever you feel like it. The exchange won't stand for it. The exchange is in no position to dictate orders anymore, Zuvam. Who's that? The stranger. You haven't been telling us everything now, have you, Zuvam? Tell you everything? What are you talking about? I don't have to clear everything through you. What's going on here, Suvan? They're trying to extort me. That's what. They think just because the exchange is gone, they can take whatever they want from me. We are renegotiating our contract, Suvan. I think you guys better leave. Or what? You'll force us? Or I'll ask you again, very politely. You seek to mock us, human. No, don't fight here. You'll destroy everything. We'll be back for you, human. And you as well, Suvan. Thank you for trying to help, but I don't think this ended very well at all. They can be impulsive sometimes. They may be back in force. Still, at least I ended up in one piece, right? Here, I'll let you look at some of the stuff I was saving for them. I'm definitely not going to give this to them now. You got some expensive stuff, my friend. But is it worth the money? That's like all of my money right there. I don't even know if we want any of this stuff. I'm sure some of this would be nice, but Jesus. Let's see what we've got to sell first. Don't think we need 2 of those. Don't need 4 of those. They can go. Probably don't need any of them to be fair, but I'll keep 1 of each. Longsword. Sure, get rid of 1 of them. Do we want any more dual-bladed lightsabers? Not really. Try and earn some money. I mean, I don't think we need any of these casters, right? We've got like Zolbar's bowcaster and the new one we got. Just get rid of it. These may as well go because they're kind of crap. I will keep 1 of everything, that's my limit. Shields, they have uses, right? So I guess they can stay. Not that I ever really use them. What is this? Something to do with Korriban. I guess that will be something for us to deal with later then. Let's get rid of these mines. Upgrade materials and then droid stuff. But no, I don't think there's much else to buy from you. You having any other issues here? I see you still have your little Giska. I'm assuming these still don't open. You got anything else to say? What do you want? What do those Trandoshans want? They want me to give them more of my inventions. Stuff that I haven't even finished working on yet. Ever since Davik went down, the exchange has been a non-factor in these parts. Trandoshans are trying to muscle in on all the old exchange businesses now. Maybe I can still work something out with them. Thank you for being here, though. It might have gone less pleasantly if you hadn't shown up. Is there something else you want? Well, I think that's everything. See how our mission's going on.
Hey there. What can I do for you?
I want to talk to you about your brother.
I appreciate everything you've done for Griff. You know that, right? I just hope things work out for him this time around. I guess we'll find out when he meets up with us at the Zerka Corp shop. If he's got those credits he promised you, then maybe there's hope for him yet.
Not holding my breath.
Yeah, what do you want?
I was wondering if you had any more war stories.
I don't have as many strange stories like the last one I told you, but I do have a couple about me and the stuff I've done. In one battle above the world of Althir, my unit managed to defeat a force of Althiri 10 times our own size. That battle gained me command of an entire subsect of my clan.
Tell me the story.
For 5 days, they had managed to hold off our forces, keeping us to the outer rings of their world, preventing us from attacking it directly. My task was to assault one of their flanks with a false attack. The Althiri would be drawn out by the units I had sent in. Once they had surrounded those units, the bulk of my forces would attack from the rear and defeat them in detail.
Ah, did it work?
Things didn't go as I had planned. I saw an opening, a mistake they had made in the disposition of their forces, and took it. While fending off our main force, they had let their fleet split in two. The center of their entire fleet was left exposed. I turned my forces and assaulted the center of their fleet, decimating them.
You were a great warrior, Cantorus.
Their slow, ponderous ship could not turn to face us without being overwhelmed. The command vessels were destroyed in seconds. Their ranks were thrown into chaos. It was amusing to watch the surviving ships scatter and flee. Several even tried to dive through the plane of the rings to escape us. They were shredded by the rings, or crashed into rocks, or were destroyed by our forces as we pursued them. Warriors do not flee from a battle if they are losing. They fight to the end, as we did against your Jedi Revan. Another time, maybe, I'll tell you about how the war with the Republic went. For now, let's just get on with things. Is there something else you want to know? Your choice. I'm here if you want something done right.
How's Zelbar doing? Is there something you want? Have you anything to say about yourself, Zelbar? You have seen more than I would have allowed, and taught me some things too. I am grateful for that. It will be a while before I know what my role will be, making Kashyyyk truly free. I have a lot to learn. Why did you request to take back his sword? I'm not sure I really know. Father expects much of me. I guess I do as well. I think when I've learned enough, I'll bring it back to Kashyyyk. What happens then, we'll see. I'm sorry we can't stay on Kashyyyk longer. You will have important things to do, and I don't feel bad about leaving this time. I know I'll be welcomed back. I wish you well. Let's get going. I will follow.
How may I be of assistance to you, Padawan?
I was wondering if we could talk.
What is it you would like to speak to me about?
Tell me about your past.
Well, I suppose I have not talked very much about the Jedi I met back home. They, all of them, were so very invigorating.
Invigorating?
They were so very alive, so full of hope and energy and zeal. In retrospect, I can see it was a little bit tragic.
Tragic?
Well, yes. These Jedi were going to fight the Mandalorians just after they had invaded. Many of those Jedi perished in the fighting, but to us, they seemed invincible. Especially their leader, who they talked about all the time. Paragons of light and justice, sweeping away all iniquity before them. It was like looking at gods.
The Jedi are not gods.
I know that. I was using poetic license. But those Jedi, they were enthralling. Everyone wanted just to touch them. Some people thought it would bring them luck. Not that the peace they brought lasted very long.
What happened?
The Jedi left. The people grew complacent. Those who had been wronged saw their chance at revenge. And so the cycle continues. The oppressed become the new generation of oppressors. The human oppressed, that is. The non-humans were never treated well in any case. We felt the brunt of both administrations.
Was it that bad?
Of course it was. They took their frustrations and hate out on us because the people they wanted had already fled or were too well protected. But no one looks out for the injustices we suffered. Oh no, but I am sorry. I should not have outbursts like that.
As long as you don't let your anger influence you.
Don't you see? The very fact I mentioned it means it has its influence. Anger can lead to the dark side, and I must be ever careful that I do not fall back into those ways. I thank you for your support. My outburst was uncalled for, but you did not lash back at me. You are a much better Jedi than I, it would seem. But let us not speak more of this now. We should continue on our journey. Perhaps later we will talk again. Yes. What is it?
Is something wrong?
I have been bothered by something of late.
Well, what is it?
I never told you where I came from, did I? Where I grew up as a child? I suppose I was trying to deny what I was feeling.
What?
I have been wrestling with my feelings inside, trying to come to terms with it, but I find I cannot. I must have someone to blame. Someone to blame for the destruction of my homeworld. Someone who is responsible for the death of everyone I have ever known, except those on Dantooine.
You mean...
Taris. It was Taris that the Sith destroyed to try to kill you and your precious Bastilla. Taris, my homeworld.
I'm sorry, Jehani. I did not know.
If it were not for you and Bastilla, the Sith would have never had reason to destroy that world. It was your fault for being there, and your fault for rescuing Bastilla. Without your intervention, the Sith would have had no cause to lay waste to my childhood.
We...
Just let me vent my anger. I need someone to blame. Something. Anything. I hated that world. Yet everything I learned as a child, I learned there. It is as much a part of me as the air I breathe. I have this ache inside me, where all my childhood memories lay, and I find your face there with them. If it was not for you, that world would still exist.
I'm sorry, Jehani. There was no way to prevent it.
I know. I suppose I realized that. But it is so hard to lose your entire past. You would not understand.
It will be alright, Jehani.
Yes. Yes, I suppose it will. As long as we remain focused on our task, it will. I am sorry. I will try not to distract you in the future with my trivial experiences. We should stop for now. How may I be of assistance to you, Padawan?
I was wondering if we could talk.
What is it you would like to speak to me about?
Well, what are you thinking about?
Taris was my home for many years. As much as I hated it, it was still home. A rat hole, a warren, a paradise. I suppose you could call it all these things. For me, it was hell.
I know some parts are bad, but...
You have no idea what it is like to have to live there for years. To walk down the streets, to have people look at you in disgust, like an animal. Most did not know anything about me, but it was there, all the same. Because I was an alien. Because I was different from them. Frightening. I doubt any of them had even seen my people before. So they persecuted me. They looked down on me and my family. Charged us more for food. Would not let us walk their streets. They spat on us. You are human. You could not possibly know.
Humans can just be as cruel to each other.
That is true, I suppose. But it is much more obvious for someone like me. There were no other Cathar on Terrace. No one to talk to, no one to confide in. But you must think me weak for saying this. But I am strong enough to admit it.
You're not weak, Jahani. It must have been hard.
I thank you for your concern, but maybe I am weak. To think that some stories of my stupid past could possibly interest you.
No, it's all right. I will be here to listen to you whenever you want.
I thank you. You are kinder than I would have expected to put up with me using you in this way. I hope that I will not use your time so badly in the future. Thank you. How may I be of assistance to you, Padawan?
I was wondering if we could talk.
What is it you would like to speak to me about?
Nothing for now, perhaps later. Okay, that's up to date with her. And that just leaves... Where's our newest party member? Come to think of it. Not in here. Where the hell is he? Did we check in here? No, you're in here. We've never really been in this room, have we?
Got something on your mind, do you?
Why did you decide to come with me?
You got yourself a fast little ship. I'd forgotten what engine sounded like. The closest thing to that on Kashyyyk is an uller in mating season. Oh, frightful.
So you wanted to ride on my ship?
Or it could be for the free food. What's the gunk that comes out of the synthesizer on this bucket anyway? Do you never clean the darn thing?
No, seriously, tell me.
I'm old, damn it. I'm allowed to be enigmatic when I want to be. And don't you go telling me otherwise. You know, you remind me of someone else I knew ages ago. Pleasant enough fellow, great destiny, all of that. Breath like a bantha.
Is this a comment on my breath?
No, but it could be. An Anduvian salt tablet would clear that right up, you know. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yes. Andor Vex was his name. The Force swirled around him like a hurricane. That's how great his destiny was.
Had you traveled with this man?
I did. Just because someone has the Force swirling about them doesn't always mean they have a great destiny. But it doesn't hurt to check it out. Well, it turned out that poor Andor believed a wee bit too much in the infallibility of that destiny. That overconfidence turned out to be his downfall.
Is there supposed to be some hidden meaning in this?
I don't know. Are you overconfident? I hadn't noticed. Even if I had, I would never comment on it. We're talking about Andor, remember? Let's see. Oh yes, Andor's downfall. I was pretty young myself when it happened. At the time, I thought that Andor's destiny couldn't be more boring.
How young are you talking?
Well, let's just say that I was a strapping young lad with a full head of hair, and Coruscant was a small town with a well. I was just about to abandon Andor to whatever the Force intended for him when his ship was overtaken by a Dimian warship. Now, you've probably never heard of the Dimians, but at the time they were a nasty lot led by a nastier overlord named Krat. Tall fellow, big teeth. Krat has us hauled onto the bridge of his ship for questioning, and that's when I knew that Andor's destiny was at hand.
And? Go on.
Well, Andor decides that his destiny makes him invulnerable and starts making all sorts of demands. Free me now. I'm not answering questions. Blah, blah, blah. Don't you know who I am? Krat decides he's had enough and begins crushing Andor's neck. I told the boy he should have kept his mouth shut. I think he agreed, too. Or Those could have just been gurgling noises. No, well, anyway. Finally, Grat has enough of Andor and tosses him aside into this giant energy intake shaft. Andor gets sucked in and starts bouncing around, screaming. Maybe Andor hit something sensitive on the way down, or just didn't agree with the reactor core. Next thing I know, all the ship's alarms are ringing.
You're kidding.
Everyone panics, and I run, barely making it to the ship in time before the explosion. Grat dies horribly, and the Dimians never quite recovered. Changed the political course of the entire sector for centuries to come. I'd call that quite a destiny, wouldn't you?
But how can you even be sure that Andor was responsible?
What? Are you kidding? What are the odds of that happening anyway? 1,000,000,000 to 1? You should do so well as to be sucked into the engine of some evil Sith Lord, you know. Andor was a hero. Sort of. Anyway, go on. My throat is dry and you're making me cranky. Shoo! Got something on your mind, dude?
Have you seen all these Giska we have on board?
I have no idea what you're talking about, Rambo. What do you say?
Am I the only one that sees them, or what's going on here?
Got something on your mind?
No one know what to do with these damn things?
Oh, I get it. Let's play with the old man's head, is it? He's half senile. He'll forget I said anything. Wait, what was this about anyway?
Okay then. I guess that just leaves Bastila and Koth. If there's any updates there. Excuse me.
Yes, what's on your mind?
Tell me why you want revenge on Saul so badly.
I already told you, he betrayed us all.
It just seems more personal than that, is all.
Well, there is more to it. I'm sure you don't want to hear about it.
I asked, didn't I?
It's just that I don't talk about it very much, okay? I told you about my homeworld, Telos. 4 years ago, Saul led the Sith fleet there and demanded its surrender. The planet refused, and Saul proceeded to devastate its entire surface. Millions died. I had a wife and a son on Telos. I thought they would be safe there, but my task force arrived too late to be of much help. We didn't have enough medical supplies. The colony was burning and the dying were everywhere. I remember holding my wife and screaming for the medics, but they didn't come in time.
That's terrible. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Of course not. How could you? I had nothing left after that, really. I devoted myself to the fleet. Hunting Saul was my only purpose. I miss them. And I know killing Saul won't bring them back. And it won't make me happy again, but I have to do it. I don't expect you to understand, but I have to pay him back for what he's done. I have to. It's all I have left.
What was she like, your wife?
She had courage, and she was stubborn. Could never talk her out of anything once she put her mind to it. And she hated it when I signed back onto the fleet at the start of the war. I had planned on leaving soon to join her.
So what happened to your son? You didn't say.
His name was Dustil, and I don't know what happened to him. The colony was a complete ruin, and we never found any trace of him. I made inquiries and followed the reports from Telos for years, but I stopped. Anyway, I hope that answers your questions. Let's continue with what we were doing. Yes, what's on your mind? You got it.
How can I help? Then I suggest we move on.
I guess that's everything then. Right. On to the next planet then, I guess. Unless Griff has got our money, we can wrap that up. We can check on the way to Manaan, I guess. Even though Manaan's kind of on the way to Tatooine. But sure, let's go check.
Excuse me, have you seen a mechanic about? Short fellow, bald. I've been looking...
Well, I'll be a Wookiee's uncle. Davin? Davin Coatrus?
Jolie? Jolie Pinto? Why, you old freak. Last time I saw you, you were still wandering the galaxy in that old tug. I thought you were dead, old man.
I crashed somewhere and decided to stay.
Yeah, I'll just bet. Damn, old man, you look exactly the same as the last time I saw you. You pickle well.
You're too kind. Not the young lad anymore yourself, I see.
Care to introduce your friend, Jolie?
What are you, deaf? His name's Davin. Old friend from my Wanderer days. By the by, Davin, I really should be running off.
Of course, old man. Oh, wait. If you've been traveling in this sector, I suppose you heard about Sunry?
No, why? What's there to hear?
He's been picked up by the Selkath authorities on Manaan for murder.
That's preposterous.
I know. Melora is beside herself, as you can imagine. Maybe you could help them. I'm sure Sunry would appreciate a Jedi's assistance right about now.
Perhaps I will at that. It's up to my friend here, actually. I'm just tagging along.
We could check into it when we're on Manaan next.
I'd appreciate that. Sunry's an old friend. I'd hate to see him hurt.
Same here. Well, it was good to see you again. Give my regards to Alora if you see her.
I will. Be safe, old friend.
Yes?
Well, conveniently, we're heading to Manaan next.
Another vision. The Force is guiding us, helping us retrace the steps of Malak and his old master, leading us ever closer to the Star Forge. It is strange that anyone would have built a star map here. The entire surface of Manaan is covered by nothing but vast oceans.
It looked like the star map was underwater.
The ocean floor is vast, and much of it is uncharted, even by the native Selkath. But how could Revan and Malak have found their way down? No doubt things will become more clear once we discover the star map's location.
Well, let's get to it then, shall we? 2 to go. Let's take Jolie. He seems to have business here. But who else? I don't really know. Doesn't really matter, but should we take HK? Can we equip or upgrade you at all? Don't really know what you're using, to be honest. Don't really pay attention, since I seem to be the one doing all the damage anyway. You have any better weapon for you? It's got to be slightly better, right? Surely.
Yes?
What?
Okay, let's see what the crack is. Anything to borrow from this port? Seemingly not. I'm waiting for the docking fee.
You Republic people are so pathetic, sitting around groveling at the table scraps the Galactic Senators deign to give you. It makes me sick.
The Senators work for the good of the whole galaxy, not for individual gain.
Ha! Don't make me laugh, you gutless simp. It's the destiny of weak-minded fools like you to be ruled over by the strong, like we Sith.
I'm warning you. Don't push me or you'll get just what you're asking for.
Try it. Just try it. I'd love to see you throw the first punch. And with all the cameras around, the Selkath would be all over you inside of 30 seconds. You break their laws. You pay the price, Republic scum. But I can see that you're not man enough to back up your words anyway. If you ever feel like relieving yourself of your worthless existence, feel free to come by our enclave here. We have many, many ways to fulfill your wish.
Yeah, what are you... Oh, I apologize, Master Jedi. I should not have been rude.
It's alright.
No, really. I should apologize. I should try to control myself. As you Jedi do. Is there anything I can help you with?
Why did the Sith upset you so much?
Well, these damn Sith are everywhere on Manaan, pushing us Republic citizens around, trying to goad us into breaking the law somewhere.
Breaking the law?
Yeah, the Selkath want to maintain their neutrality in this war we're fighting with the Sith, and they enforce it very strictly. So we just have to sit here and let the Sith insult us, and we can't raise a hand against them. Otherwise, the Republic will face severe Kolto export restrictions, and that could lose us the war altogether.
What is Kolto?
You're joking, right? I'm sorry, but everyone knows what Kolto is. It's the most powerful healing agent in the galaxy. I would have died several times myself if we didn't have this stuff handy. But the reason it's important here is that Kolto is only found naturally on Manaan, and all of our attempts to synthesize it have failed miserably. So, we sit here on the surface, the Selkath harvesting what Kolto bubbles up from the bottom of the ocean, and we buy it from them. Well, us and the Sith, of course. The Selkath don't want to play favorites.
The Republic and Sith both stay here?
The Selkath think that by staying neutral, they can play both sides, selling Kolto to everyone that needs it, and making themselves too valuable to be worth conquering. Well, that, and they threaten to destroy the only natural source of Kolto on the planet if anyone tries to attack them. But I think they're underestimating the length the Sith will go to get what they want. They're probably planning something already. Is there anything else you require?
Never mind. I must go.
Of course. If you have any other questions, you should probably see Roland Wan. He's the Republic diplomat here. He's by the Republic Enclave near the visitor residences. Oh, if you don't know where that is, go north from here, then south past the port official in the first courtyard, east into the second courtyard, then north, then east again. You got that? Have a pleasant stay, Master Jedi.
Yep, I'll totally remember that. I'll not just wander around until I find it. Do we have a map of this place? We do. Oh, so this way's a dead end. Is there anything down this end before we move on? Even though he has joined your group, Jody remains a somewhat mysterious character. Maybe you could speak to him about why he chose to come with you.
Got something on your mind, dude?
You never did actually say why you decided to come with me.
No, I never did I?
Are you always going to be this elusive?
Elusive? Me elusive? Obviously, you've never tried to grab a Twi'lek dancing girl after drinking too much Onderan Willick juice. At any rate, I already told you why I wanted to leave. I'd seen everything I wanted to on Kashyyyk. Time to go. Time to move on.
Move on to where?
To bed. I'm old and tired, you know.
No, really.
How many kilometer-high trees can you find an interest in before you figure you've had enough? I'd bet you can't be bothered to stay in one room for more than 15 minutes. And then there's all the critters and the Shadowlands. I'm just happy to be back in space, doing something new. Is that too much to ask?
You could do that on your own.
So I could. Well, not having a ship does tend to put a damper on that kind of idea, however. I'll admit, for all its flaws, Kashyyyk was home enough. But when you came along and I saw the destiny you had before you, I couldn't help but be intrigued.
You know what my destiny is?
Of course not. Weren't you listening last time? I can see that you have a destiny before you, but the details are far from clear. In fact, everything about you that I can see is odd. Slightly off, as if my eyes are trying to trick me. Something is very dark about you. But, I'm sure you don't need to hear my ruminations. You've probably got enough nosy Jedi offering you one opinion after another to make you sick.
No, tell me more what you see.
Your future will come of its own accord, trust me. Sometimes navel-gazing at it doesn't get you anywhere. I wouldn't worry about it too much if I were you. You remind me a bit of Nomi. And that can't be all bad.
Nomi? Who's Nomi?
Nomi Sunrider. She came late to the Force, just as you have, and became one of the greatest Jedi ever. Oh, fine, fine lass. Whether you'll follow the same path remains to be seen. For one thing, we'll never get anywhere if you stand around chatting up old men all day.
So you're along as some kind of observer?
Nonsense. If I ever refused to help you when you asked, how confused can one person be anyway? One thing I will say is that this little escapade does remind me a bit of my adventuring days before the war. Those were exciting times. Or at least it would remind me of those times if we didn't stand around. What's keeping you? You're too young to be so talkative. Shoo! Shoo!
Anything else down here? No? Okay. I'm sure we'll get more out of him before we leave. Greetings, human, and welcome to Addo City Visitors Provisional Stand. We are here to provide visitors with all manners of indigenous treats and products produced right here on Manaan. We carry all manners of foods and provisions, and have contracts with resellers across the world to provide you, the customer, with the best shopping experience possible. How is it that Anto City Provisional Company can help you today? Tell me about Anto City. Anto City is the centre of trade and commerce for all of Manaan. Indeed, in this entire sector. It is the only known source of culture in the galaxy, and thus one of the most important worlds. This city was constructed by the Selkath, so that other races and cultures could experience the wonders that Manaan has to offer. Let me see your inventory. Of course, the Anto City Visitors Provisional Stand is here to service you, the customer. I'm sure you are. And as suspected, you don't really have much of use. Greetings, forgive me if it seems an odd question, Uploader, but might you have any exotic species for sale? Nothing dangerous, mind you. Exotic species? What sort of exotic species? Anything non-sentient and non-carnivorous will do. There are creatures that are easily to manage are preferred. Is that understandable? Why would you want to buy animals? Ah, a good question. The Selkath have little exposure to life from other planets, you see. But our government hopes to change that. They are setting up a zoological compound for visitation by the public, and are hoping to stock it with the non-offensive foreign creatures of all types. The only problem right now is actually procuring exotic species we need. Selkath import restrictions are quite prohibitive, to say the least. I have some Giska if you're interested. Giska? You speak of the small bipedal amphibians with the overly high reproduction rate, correct? Oh no, I'm afraid I can't take those. A compatriot of mine made the mistake of purchasing a pair of such creatures several months ago. Within weeks, our storage facilities were nearly overrun. If you are in possession of such creatures, I hope you keep them separated. If not, then you have my condolences. Is there no way I can convince you to take them off my hands? I do not think so, no. They have proven to be far too much trouble in the past. Thanks anyway, then. My pleasure. Should you encounter some other exotic species, do please let me know. I mean, there's loads, but I'm not exactly bringing them on my ship. What have we got here, then? West Central, then another docking bay? Leaving Anto City security zone, cameras deactivated. Oh, this is the Sith loading bay, huh?
Enough time to listen to your stories. I've got a full shipment of Colto ready to load before my shift is over.
Good for you. Okay, let's see what's this way. Anything down this end? Private Sith docking bay, security clearance required. Good to know. Speed buff could last a little longer. Did it last even less time when it's a higher level? Yeah, what do you want? Who are you? My name is Jolan, just a traveling Pazak player with no special story to tell. Are you interested in a game? Not right now. Well, if you feel like it, that's what I'm here for. Noted. Welcome to Manaan. While you are here, I trust you will follow the rules governing the activities of off-worlders. What are the rules exactly? The single most important law of Manaan is very simple. Colto smuggling is punishable by death. If you're carrying any unprocessed Colto, you better have a permit. The other rule is also very simple. Keep the peace. Here on Manaan, we maintain a careful neutrality, and we react very harshly to people who jeopardize our neutral status. Any confrontations between the Sith and the Republic are dealt with swiftly and decisively. Is this understood? I understand. There is a docking fee of 100 credits. You will have to pay this fee each time you dock on Manaan, or you will be not permitted to enter Anto City. Very well. Here is the docking fee. The Manaan Board of Trade and Tourism thanks you. Here is a visitor's guide and a map of the city. Refer to it should you have any questions. The gates of Anto City are now open. You may come and go as you please, so long as you do not leave the planet. If you do, you will have to pay the docking fee once more.
Obey the laws here on Manaan, human.
Yes, sir.
A friend of mine recently got into Pazak. You know, the card game. Now he can't stop. It's so addictive.
If you say so. Nothing but ocean. Okay, which way do we want to go? Oh, we had a map. Doesn't really matter which way we go.
The whole swoop racing circuit for this sector has been falling apart since the Sith bombed Terrace.
More swoop racing to do, huh? Let's go this way. I can't sell you Koto unless you show me your purchase permit. Where can I get a purchase permit? One does not simply get a purchase permit. Such permits are brokered between intergalactic governments and the Anto-City Export Authority. We do not sell unrefined Kolto by the handful. We sell it by the ton. Go to a store if you want to purchase Kolto for personal use. I'll be going now. Good. I am far too busy to converse with the likes of you.
We've got all the proper Kolto trading permits, so back off.
Hey, I'm working here. Go talk to the diplomatic rep if you got something to say.
Not really. Just getting the lay of the land.